All right, hello, my name is Jake Norris, and this is my MIS325 final project. For this project, I had the idea of making an accounting system for a construction company, and it just so happens that one of my friends owns a construction company called Big Ideas Construction. So I took his logo and put it on the front home page, and that says Big Ideas Construction LLC accounting system. And we have 6 different pages here. The first page is an employee payroll system where you select an employee, where I've filled in a drop-down list with the employees in our database. And the only employee is this one so far. Then you fill in a time, and then the end time of their shift, and then the day, and it's going to throw it into here, and you can see that he's being paid $23 an hour. He worked 10 hours. It was a weekday. It was on December 20th of 2021, and he earned $230. We also, on every one of these pages, have a clear form button, and that's just going to take all the information out of the boxes. For company breakdown charts, this one right here, the subcontractor breakdown, is actually not filled with any information so far because my SQL command is broken and not updating the running totals. But the code written for filling the chart is working. It just doesn't, it's at 0 right now because my SQL command is broken. Down here though, we see our only employee. If you have more, it's going to expand more. But we can see our employee and how many days he's worked. And then this is just to compare the different employees and the number of days they've each worked. Under subcontractor reporting, you can choose a subcontractor from the database, which is, this one is Jones Framing Company. And then you select a customer that they worked for, because usually Big Ideas Construction is a general manager or a general contractor, and they have to incorporate a lot of subcontractors to work for different customers. And here's our only customer. You put the invoice amount, select the start date that they started working for them, and then the end date, and then enter. It's going to show us our record ID, and then our subcontractor ID, which is 1 because we only have one subcontractor and it's in the first spot. The contractor type, which is like framing, HVAC, or drywall. Then you can see our customer ID. We also only have 1, so it's 1. Our customer name, our start date of the project, and the end date of our project, and then how much they were invoiced. Next, we have an employee setup page where you can set up a new employee. You would write down, let's enter my name, Jake Norris. Enter in the pay rate, which is, let's say, $24 an hour. Let's say I'm full-time, and the date that I'm employed is, let's just choose today. And it turns out that the system is actually not working right now, which I'll go back and fix. But this will ultimately add in a new employee to our system. And then it will also update this grid view and show basically the same thing that's on here, just another row below that with my name. It's going to increment, auto increment to employee archive ID number 2. It's going to show my pay rate, our HR category, the number of days I've worked, which is updated from the employee payroll, the last day we worked, and the total earned. And the total earned for this employee is actually not updated correctly because the SQL command, just like the subcontractor and customer SQL command to update their running totals, is actually not working right now. Here's our subcontractor setup, and you can enter in a company name, which is just like Jones Framing Co. I don't know for sure if this is going to work, but we'll try it. Let's enter in Morris HVAC Co. Specialty HVAC. Billing address. City is let's see if this works. It actually works. And yeah, so it's just like the employees wanted. Auto updated our grid view, auto incremented our primary key value. It shows the contractor name we entered in, the type, the billing address, the city, state, zip, and then the two running totals, as we said, is not working. Customer setup. We are setting up a customer here, like Brett Norris, who is actually my dad. You can enter in a name, an address. Just click on this one. Auto filled in the rest of the information. We hit enter, and it did the same thing. It's working. It actually didn't enter in the state, which I'll have to go back and correct that. And then our two running values, the SQL command is not working, but the other stuff it did enter in correctly. And then it should, since we entered in a new employee, it's actually that one, our employee didn't work. I'll have to go back and update this, but what I want effectively to happen is once you enter in a new employee, subcontractor, or customer, I do want it to auto update these drop-down lists while you're on the page, so you don't have to reboot the page. And then you'll be able to select these and pretty much use this accounting system to its full potential. If we want to go and look at our databases, we are using 5 databases. We're using a subcontractor database, as shown here. Then we're using an employee labor database, which is the one that relates to our employee payroll. Then we show an employee archive database, which is showing all of our employees and their information. And then a customer database, and then a records database. And the records database relates to subcontractor reporting. And I would change these database names, but it was acting very weird when I was setting them up. And it was making me delete all the information in my database, delete the whole database and everything I've done for it just to update the name. So I'm keeping the names as is for now. To show you a brief bit of the code, it's pretty extensive. It's only me working on this project because my partner actually dropped the class. But just for fun, I'll show you. Here's where we update the drop-down list. It's in a sub method, so we can call it like multiple times throughout the code. And we're just clearing out our data tables that we're going to fill the drop-down lists with. And we have 3 drop-down lists: the customers, subcontractors, and employees. And they're being filled right here. And so far, everything else, I tried to incorporate and implement everything we've learned this semester. And I think I've pretty much incorporated almost all of what we've done this semester. And then here is our design page right here. You can see the payroll page, the company breakdown page with the 2 charts. You can see subcontractor reporting with the grid view. You can see the employee setup with the grid view, the subcontractor setup, and the customer setup. All right, and I think that is about it. Thank you for watching this recording, and thank you for the class.